A young woman running through the dark, terrified, dialing 911 in the middle of the night, screaming that someone is trying to kill her. She disappears into the marshes of Long Island, and that one desperate call ends up uncovering one of the most shocking serial killer cases America has ever seen. This is the story of the Gilgo Beach murders and the man now accused of being the monster behind them. It all started back in May 2010. A 24-year-old woman named Shannon Gilbert went missing after visiting a client in Oak Beach, Long Island. She was a sex worker who advertised online, and that night she called emergency services in a complete panic, saying someone was after her. She ran off into the nearby marsh and was never seen alive again. Her remains were eventually found months later, and while officials called it an accidental drowning, her family and some experts have always questioned that, pointing to possible signs of strangulation. Because of her disappearance, police launched a huge search along Ocean Parkway near Gilgo Beach. In December 2010, they made a horrifying discovery. 4 bodies, all young women, all petite, all wrapped in burlap, were found close together within a quarter mile of each other. These became known as the Gilgo Four: Maureen Brainard-Barnes, Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, and Amber Lynn Costello. Maureen was 25, a mother of 2 from Connecticut who turned to sex work after facing hard times. She vanished in July 2007. Melissa was 24, from upstate New York. She disappeared in July 2009, and her family got cruel, taunting phone calls from her phone for weeks afterward, calls that traced back to places near where the suspect lived. Megan was 22, from Maine. She went missing in June 2010 after staying at a motel on Long Island. And Amber was 27, living nearby in West Babylon. A witness remembered a man in a dark Chevrolet Avalanche offering her a massive amount of money to meet up. Then she vanished in September 2010. The search didn't stop there. In early 2011, more remains turned up, some dismembered, some scattered farther out in Suffolk and Nassau counties. In total, at least 10 or 11 sets of remains were linked to the area over time, though not every case is tied to the same killer. Among them were women like Jessica Taylor, 20, whose torso was found in Manorville back in 2003, with more remains discovered later. Valerie Mack, 24, whose partial body was found in 2000 and identified years later. Sandra Costilla, 28, killed as far back as 1993, and Karen Vargata, whose remains dated to 1996. Many of these women were small in build, worked as escorts through sites like Craigslist, and were bound or wrapped in similar ways: belts, burlap, garbage bags. For over a decade, the case dragged on. There were questions about police handling, missed connections, and even scandals involving former officials. Families waited for answers while the killer or killers seemed to vanish. Then, in July 2023, everything changed. Rex Heuermann, a 60-year-old architect living a quiet life in Massapequa Park, Long Island, was arrested in Midtown Manhattan while walking to work. He was charged with murdering 7 of these women, the 4 from Gilgo Beach: Melissa, Megan, Amber, and Maureen, plus Jessica Taylor, Valerie Mack, and Sandra Costilla. He has pleaded not guilty to every single charge and remains in custody. Prosecutors built their case with a mix of modern forensics and old-school detective work. Cell phone records showed contacts with some of the victims. Burner phones were used to reach out to dozens of sex workers. Hair found on the burlap wrapping one victim matched DNA from Heuermann. Traced through a pizza crust he threw away that investigators tested. Other hairs, linked to his wife's DNA, appeared on belts used to bind some victims. A dark green Chevrolet Avalanche, just like the one described by a witness in Amber's case, was registered to him. There were also disturbing online searches. He allegedly looked up sadistic content, torture material, and even images connected to the victims and their grieving families. Investigators say some of these crimes may have happened right in his family home while his wife and kids were away. Now, about his family, they paint a very different picture. Rex was married to Asa Ellerup since 1996. She had a son, Christopher, from a previous relationship. He has developmental disabilities, and together they had a daughter, Victoria. They lived in a normal ranch house in a suburban neighborhood. Asa met Rex when she was young, and they stayed together through the years. Victoria has described her dad as open and not abusive, though he could get frustrated sometimes. The family says none of this matches the man they knew. No red flags, no secret dark side they ever saw. After the arrest, life flipped upside down. Asa filed for divorce shortly after, not because she immediately believed the charges, but to protect finances and assets. It's since been finalized, but she still calls him her husband in some ways and has stayed in touch, even attending court with Victoria. They've spoken to him by phone, visited him in jail. Victoria once said he seemed like himself even behind bars, making it hard to accept he's capable of these things. But over time, seeing the public evidence, she said she believes he's most likely guilty. Asa is more cautious. She wants to see every piece of proof before deciding, and she's dealt with serious health issues on top of everything. The family appeared in a documentary sharing their side, talking about the emotional pain, especially for Christopher, who struggles to understand. They're relocating, selling the house where so much is alleged to have happened, and trying to move forward. As of right now, in early 2026, Rex Heuermann is still awaiting trial. A judge has ruled that all 7 murder charges will be heard together in one big trial, no splitting them up. The judge has been firm. The trial starts right after Labor Day 2026. No excuses. Pre-trial hearings continue, with the defense fighting hard to throw out key evidence, like that pizza crust DNA, some warrants, and statements Heuermann made early on. Prosecutors say they're ready to go. Over 150 witnesses could be called, and this could be one of the biggest true crime trials in years. This case shines a light on so many things. How vulnerable sex workers can be, how long families wait for justice, the power of DNA and genetic genealogy in solving old crimes, and how a seemingly ordinary guy next door can hide something unimaginable. What do you think? Does the evidence add up? Could there still be more to the story? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if this got under your skin, and subscribe for more deep dives into cases like this. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.